We bop and hippity hop. I'm as happy as I can be. Whoa, boom, boom, and hippity zoom. Love is sweet, love is grand, works one. We bop and hippity hop. I'll never be a millionaire. Whoa, boom, boom, and hippity zoom. I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love. I don't care. We bop and hippity hop. I'm as happy as I can be. Whoa, boom, boom, and hippity zoom. Love is sweet, love is grand, works one. We bop and hippity hop. I'll never be a millionaire. Whoa, boom, boom, and hippity zoom. I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love. I don't care.
And not quite as nice a day today. It's still pretty darn good for the first part of January though. 42 degrees out right now, the wind's blowing off and on. Just not quite as nice as it has been, but it looks like through the 20th we're supposed to be pretty much above average in the 40s, 50s. Not bad. Got the heater on in the shop, gonna let it warm up in there and then we'll get busy. So I got this other side all welded up. Last video I did this side and got that welded up last night. Plate cut out, the hole in it, and that fits down in there just right. So now I need to spend a little time grinding these welds down, and then need to figure out where that tube is going to go exactly. So I got this fairly well cleaned up in here. I feel like I'm starting to catch a cold, a little bit of a sore throat, so if I'm sounding a little off, that's why. But anyway, this turned out, just like the other side, this turned out pretty decent. I just can't get back up in there with this to get that sanded down very good. But there we go, that's ready to roll. Now I need to get that tube over here, shove it back in here, and figure out what to do with these sides. The one on the other side is kind of bad shape up in here. Somehow I need to tie that all together. And I've had a couple people in the comments, I don't think, it wasn't on the last video, I don't think, video or two ago, about suggesting hanging the tailgate before I get everything welded together, which not a bad idea. The problem is, without it being welded together down here, these sides are pretty flexible, and that tailgate is pretty heavy. So not sure how that's going to work. Like I said before in my last video, I know what the dimension is from right here over to here. I know what that should be. Somehow I think I do need to get it all tied together where I can get the tailgate up in there, just to make sure it's all going to fit together against that tubing, how everything's supposed to go. We'll figure that out. we'll do something. Actually, before I toss that tube in here, I'm gonna put some paint on all this since we're just ground down to nothing. Keep it from getting a bunch of surface rust on there. Same thing over here. Might put another coat on there here in a few minutes. So I got these all painted up back here. Let them dry. I had to go pick my daughter up, and so they're dry now. Not sure if I should put those on here first or try to get that tubing up in here and slide these in underneath of it. The way everything is right here, it's a pretty snug fit, but I'll see what I can do. So I think the way I did this before, I think I had this left one, I had it in, I don't know, we'll see how this goes here. Actually, I think I could have had it both. Maybe not. This needs to go this way. There. Pretty snug fit, and I think I'm pushed back farther on this side than I am over here, which, I don't know. I gotta figure out where that needs to go for sure. And over here, you can see how far we are, maybe like from here to here, and it's pushed farther this way. Not much room in there. So I need to get that centered up and then figure out how the heck I'm going to tie all this together. So I stopped recording the other night, and I didn't record anything the next day. I wasn't feeling very good. Still not feeling real great, but getting better. And then yesterday I came down, and I don't think I showed this previously. I marked the center of this tube back here, and I also put a little mark on the center of the bed of the Bronco, got it lined up. And then this tube needs to be back against here like that, just like it is. So I think we've got it pretty much right where it needs to go. And there's not a lot of overlap on the floor, but there's enough. So that will the floor will get welded down onto this tube. And I did put a little patch in here last night. Came down and cut a piece out, welded that into the floor. That was all rotted out. Need to do the same kind of thing over here. Just cut this out and round a piece down. I'm going to weld that right down onto the tube. Probably need to cut this off, maybe extend it down, maybe put a L or something on it, weld it down. Same on the other side. Over here, this side's a lot worse than that one. This whole section may need to be cut out and redone. I have a piece cut out for in here, but I think this whole area is going to have to be cut out. And then over on the sides, I really don't know what I'm going to do over here. I think my thinking right now is probably just going to cut this off up in here somewhere, all the way around, and then I don't know, come down, either just come straight down off of here with something. I'll have to angle it down a little bit. I'd like to wrap it around the end of this tube, completely close it off. Either that or get a plate and weld it on the end of that tube before I do anything else. But I'd like to close that off if I can. But we need to get these sides tied in down there. And then running into the problem with this whole piece itself, I don't believe you can buy buy these pieces anymore. I'm not sure what you call that, but I don't think you can buy those anywhere. And neither side on this side especially, just not too good. And the problem with that is the quarter panel gets spot welded onto this, which from my experience you generally don't need all of that. You don't need all the millions of spot welds that they put in there, but all the way down here to the bottom. So, and really the metal out here isn't too bad. It's just this area. It's just this area in here. So I don't know. I'm gonna have to play around with that. May have to actually, try test fitting a quarter panel up there and see what we're dealing with. Right in here, this isn't very good. Although I'm not real sure what happened there. It's like it's cracked or something. So might be able to just weld that back together. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to play around with it. This is probably gonna take a little bit of time. Once we get all that done on both sides though, and get everything tied together, we should be able to get quarter panels on this thing. Still have to remove that little section that was up in here on the other side. Not a big deal. And I still need to finish welding up the corners in this, which not going to be too bad. That doesn't take too long really after I got my welder all dialed in. So I'm going to do a little more digging around and see if I can find this piece. If I could find those, that would sure help. If anybody has those, let me know. Otherwise, just going to have to MacGyver the thing together like we've been doing. But it will get together one way or another. So we're making progress, just kind of a slow go, and getting sick doesn't really help. We're getting there, it's going forward, it's going to happen. I wanted to get this video up yesterday, but that wasn't going to happen. And I'd like to get another one up this weekend. I'm not sure if I can make enough progress to put a video together for the weekend, but I'm going to try. And I have something waiting down at my P.O. box, haven't been down there yet either. And one other thing, with fixing this back end here, again, this doesn't have to be the prettiest thing in the world, because it's going to be covered up. You're just not going to see it. It just has to be strong. And really need to figure out what the heck to do out here. It's kind of like a puzzle, and as you look at it as a whole, it really kind of makes you wonder what in the world you're going to do. But you start taking it apart, like if you come over here and if I just cut this off and just work right here piecing this together, it'll get done. So you get that part done, then you move over to the other side and do that, and then we'll move down into here and figure out what to do and how to do it, and then do the same thing on the other side. You do one little piece at a time and it slowly comes together. And it's not quite as overwhelming as looking at the whole thing and just not really knowing what to do. You just focus on one area and make it work. So I'm going to leave this right here, and I'm going to take this up to the house, edit and upload, and then come back down, get back to work on the Bronco for the next video. But give this one a thumbs up, comment down below, subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Azum, 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 azum.